Hey, Fraggle fans, Beth here. As we near the end of Season 2, we're asking for your submissions for the Season 2 wrap-up episode. Any questions you might have for us, corrections for stuff we got wrong, cool info we forgot to mention, fan theories, fan art, whatever you got, we'll try to share it. It's hard to share visual art in an audio podcast, but we will thank you for it anyway. You can email beth@toughpigs.com or tag me in the Fraggle Talk Classic channel on the Tough Pigs Discord. Just make sure to get your submissions in by the end of March 2025. Okay, on with the show. Hello and welcome to Fraggle Talk Classic, the unofficial Fraggle Rock podcast brought to you by toughpigs.com. My name is Beth and I am rewatching for the millionth time.
My name is Julia and I'm rewatching for the first time in 10 years.
My name is Adam and I'm watching for the 1st time because I think that the little suffixes that we use to decide how numbers should end should be interchangeable.
Does that make you the one-fuller?
Oh my god.
As long as Tumblr doesn't get aggressively thirsty for me, yes.
Oh, yeah.
And today we are talking about episode 21 of Season 2, Wembley and the Great Race, which originally aired on May 21st, 1984, written by Robert Sandler and directed by George Bloomfield.
I also really like the Doc and Sprocket ones for this one.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we open with Doc standing up for Sprocket on the phone to Schimmelfinny. Apparently Schimmelfinny just called up his neighbor to roast his dog, which just...
It's a choice.
Absolute troglodyte behavior. How dare you?
Yeah.
And Doc does go a little overboard. He's like, oh yeah, well, Sprocket's a show dog and he's going to win the show. I'm going to put him in the show. And like, you know what? He's a little confused, but he's got the spirit.
He's just over eager to be like, I'll show you, Ned. We're going to win this. And it's, you know, it's a move I think people sometimes make where they get too into it and agree to something before they really like fully recognize what they're doing. And I like it because Sprocket's like so worked up. He's like, oh, Doc's got my back. I love it. And then suddenly when he hears what he's being signed up for, he's like, wait, no, I don't want to do this, Doc. Stop.
Concerns.
Yeah.
So, Julia, what breed of dog do we think Sprocket might be?
Didn't we look this up in a previous episode? I mean...
yeah, he's a High Norwegian good boy.
The ones that I found that looked the closest were like a Polish lowland sheepdog with maybe some standard schnauzer in there. But he's gotta be some kind of mutt, right?
He definitely is. I mean, yeah, probably a mutt. He's definitely got sheepdog in him. He's got like the fur and the face. I feel like I saw a post on Reddit or something where someone was like, my dog looks exactly like Sprocket.
Oh.
I mean, I did find one, but I could not tell you what breed this dog is.
Right. And unless the owner knows.
I don't know if they gave Sprocket an actual breed when they designed him, or they were like, here's a really cute, shaggy dog.
Quintessential Muppet dog.
Yeah. Yeah, I keep finding pictures of dogs that look like Sprocket, and I'm like, I don't know what breed this is, but it does look like Sprocket in this picture.
Of course, it doesn't necessarily have to be relevant if it's not a breed competition. If it's like an agility competition or something like that.
Yeah, that's a good point. Normally with shows and competitions, you would be... I guess it depends on... I've never been to an actual dog show before. The one that I think of is the Westminster one because it's on TV and it's the one people think of that airs annually. But yeah, I suppose that even if you don't have a specific breed, it's more about like the category your dog falls into. If they're a hunting dog, a herding dog, a work dog, a sports dog, or a toy dog.
I mean, he'd absolutely clean up in all the penmanship competitions.
Absolutely.
None of the other dogs have thumbs.
True.
Yeah, manual dexterity. He would absolutely win.
Full marks.
So we cut to Red and Wembley helping out, and they do one of those things that I love, where there's a thing in the world, and they don't explain it right away. There's like a couple of beats, because they walk in, and Red is training Wembley, and Red has like bandages and like Band-Aids and stuff on her face, and we just get to sit there and be like, what? why is that a thing? What?
Mm-hmm.
And then Wembley's like, well, I mean, if you hadn't sprained your tail, you'd be in the race instead of me. And we're like, oh.
She's got her tail in a sling. And it's very sad, but very cute.
Mm-hmm.
And I miss when things would do that.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when the Watchmen TV show had that episode where everybody had to pull over and just sort of wait in their car, and then it rained little squids. And everyone was like, what is happening? They're not explaining. Ah! And people just like panicked. And it's like, you're allowed to have something in a story that doesn't get explained if you trust the people telling the story to explain it.
Yeah, I don't know if either of y'all watched the TV show Severance, but the most recent episode, my partner was freaking out, and I don't want to get into it because it would take forever to explain, but he was like, did we skip an episode? What's going on right now? And I was like, we will either find out or they will trust us to figure it out. It is purposeful. You gotta just go with it, man. I always like it when a TV show trusts its audience to be like, we're coming into the middle of this. Something has happened. We're going to give you some clues and you're going to be able to figure it out. We trust you.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But yeah, and Wembley's like, oh, I just want to do my best. I don't think I'm actually going to be able to beat Gobo. And there's a really cute moment where Red's like, let me tell you the secret to my success. And then both of these puppets look around furtively.
Mm-hmm. Fervently? Wait.
Festively.
Furtively. First try.
First tryedly.
Exactly. And then they go back to the cave, and I think this is the fastest we've ever gotten to a traveling map postcard.
Well, so Red said the secret to her success is that before a big race, she imagines herself winning. And she tries to have Wembley do that, tries to imagine himself specifically beating Gobo. Not just winning the race, but beating Gobo. And he can't. And that's really interesting that, like, Wembley simply cannot imagine a world in which he is beating Gobo at something that he knows Gobo is good at.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, is this like a sign of an unhealthy relationship dynamic between the two of them? Or is it like a representation thing where it's hard to imagine yourself doing something extraordinary without having seen someone like you do it first?
It read to me like a self-esteem thing. Like, oh, I can't even imagine myself winning.
Yeah. Maybe all of the above.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Wembley also is just like, all I want to do is my best. And so I think for me, there was like a lot of complications of like, okay, so what are we, is it like that it's an unhealthy relationship? Is it self-esteem? Or is it that just Wembley's like, I don't need to win. I'm just happy to participating.
Yeah. See, I thought all he wanted to do was and a take your money.
I thought that was Red and Moki.
You know what? It's a running gag now. Ha ha.
And I take you to the sticks. And you're right. This might be the fastest we've ever gotten to a traveling map postcard.
I also Wembley gets to pull one of my favorite, like, dumb jokes to do, where Gobo's laughing at it, and when he's like, oh, what are you laughing at, buddy? And Gobo's like, oh, it's this postcard from my traveling mat. Dear nephew Gobo. And Wembley just starts laughing, and Gobo's like, that's not the funny part.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things to do whenever somebody's like, oh my god, I have to tell you this funny story, or the funniest thing just happened, and they're like, so I was at the bank, right? And I go, the bank! Oh, that's great! It's like a building where they keep money. Oh, that's good. Oh, the bank. That's good. Yeah, thank you. And the trick with that, because you can be a jerk about it, but whenever they go, no, there's more, you have to be really, you go, wait, there's more? Yes! Oh, this rules!
Right.
And then they tell the rest of the story. But, like, that's a great joke. It makes me happy every time I get to make it.
Yeah, this postcard is weird.
Yeah.
It's a race. He gets scared by a gun going off, which I wrote same in my notes. And then he just thinks that they're all comforting the winner who was scared. And that's kind of the brunt of it.
Yeah. Well, so the fellow runners are congratulating the winner, and Matt is interpreting it as them comforting him.
Yeah. Was there a button like to tie up this bit where we're like, oh yeah, it's very assisting to like why it would relate to the rest of the episode? Or is it just like, yep, there's a race and there's also another race?
Not really, but what for me, when Gobo says, love your uncle traveling Matt, and then Gobo and Wembley laugh, and Gobo's like, can you imagine anyone being scared into winning? And I was like, aha!
That's fair. That's the actual button to the postcard.
Because we will see. Wembley's going to get a lot of pressure to win this thing, and that is not what eventually helps him win.
No. And so then they have a song about how it doesn't matter who wins or loses because their friendship is more important. And I loved this song.
I really like it, yeah.
There's been a sort of a consistent trend of me being kind of frustrated at, like, the music of season 2 not going as hard as it could, and the last few episodes that's really been turning around. And, like, this one, I was like, oh, it's like a cool upbeat song. And then they got to the halftime breakdown at the end of the song, and they all started kicking, and I was like, yes, this is what I love about this show.
It's so good. They do a little mini kick line together.
Mm-hmm.
And the part that broke my brain was like they're singing about how they're friends, and they're spelling out the word Friend, making like puns on each letter. So it's
so good.
F, someone asks of me. R, you and me a team. I say we'll always be friends till the END.
Oh, the lyrics are so clever.
I was like, that's great wordplay, and also now we know that Fraggles know how to spell in English. What does this mean?
I mean, we've established that the songs aren't necessarily canon.
I know. No seams in the world building.
Hey, we're at 1 scene, remember?
2, I think.
Oh yeah, maybe 2.
Because there was one from a previous episode.
That's fair. I also just love at the end they're doing the bit where like Wembley's behind Gobo and they're leaning back and forth each way, you know, each leaning the opposite way as the bit. Mm-hmm. But then Wembley kind of hops around and goes back in front of Gobo and they do the bit. But then Gobo like looks at that and goes and hops around in front of Wembley. And I was waiting for something like that for the whole song. And I love that you get to see it just creep in a little bit at the end there.
Yeah. And we get the world's oldest Fraggle and Henchy are back.
Yep.
And man, if it weren't for the physical abuse, they would have such a good dynamic.
I know.
There's like little bits of Bert and Ernie in there.
Yeah. It's a very good straight man, absurd guy dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Could do without the physical abuse though. Not a great vibe.
Yeah, I am glad that is one of the elements that is no longer represented in Back to the Rock.
Also, in this scene, there are 4 different layers of Fraggles and also 2 elevated balcony sections. I counted 17 Fraggles. That means there's at least 9 people and probably more under there with their arms up. Do puppeteers have a specific brand of deodorant? I am just now wondering.
I don't know.
Because that's a lot of time to spend with people with your arms just up.
Oh, and this was the 80s, and I can't imagine deodorant technology had come very far in the 80s.
One tiny little detail that I loved. So there are some cheerleader Fraggles who are giving this kind of nonsensy cheer. I say, Toesy Rosie, Ricka-Racka. Like the phrase Ricka-Racka is in there. And I was like, aha, that was, we heard way back in episode 108, that one of Boober's superstitions is that you're supposed to hold your nose and say Ricka-Racka twice when you see rockweed or you'll have bad luck. So that is not a one-off cultural phrase. They're bringing it back.
Interesting.
So what I'm hearing is this is foreshadowing, just like the Dozies? Ditzies, there we go.
Not quite to that level.
Look, I haven't seen the rest of this show.
Oh, right, sorry.
I'm choosing to believe that this is foreshadowing, and there's going to be a weird creature named the Ricka-Racka.
We are also introduced to 3 new Fraggles in this scene. We're introduced to we don't get much of Dimpley and Noble, except they're in the race, and they come in 3rd and 4th, as we will shortly see. Yeah. And then we meet also Rumple, who has a gambling problem.
Yeah, that was a wild... You could tell this was in the 80s, because,
we gotta let kids know now not to gamble.
Gotta make sure the kids understand sports gambling odds. Oh yeah, these are 5-1 on radishes for Wembley.
Don't worry, in 40 years, FanDuel will become a thing.
Sheesh.
Do we ever see these 3 characters again, Beth?
Okay, here's the wild part. Yes and no. there's two different, I'm going to call them timeline splits, essentially, because there is a Dimpley Fraggle and a Noble Fraggle that we see in this episode who are doing sports stuff, and then completely different looking Fraggles named Dimpley Fraggle and Noble Fraggle doing different sports stuff in a future episode.
Maybe they just forgot which puppets they used, and they were like, it doesn't matter. Just these two will do. It doesn't matter if they're the same ones from the previous season. Oh, okay.
Almost certainly someone who was, looking back at a past script, saw those names and was like, great, we'll just reuse those names, but didn't actually reuse the same puppets.
Mm-hmm. Rumple doesn't come back?
Let's see. Dimpley and Noble. Rumple is recurring, because he's got his own page on Muppet Wiki. Let's see, Rumple, Fraggle. I feel like we've seen him before. I definitely remember seeing him. Come on, Muppet Wiki, you can do it.
His voice was familiar, but I just figured I couldn't place who was voicing him, but I was like, it's just someone who I've heard speak before.
Oh, okay, so I think this is actually the first time that we see him, and that the previous time that I saw him, he wasn't yet established as Rumple, because he had a different voice and he wasn't wearing his goggles. But according to Muppet Wiki, he appears in 4 episodes: Wembley and the Great Race, The Grapes of Generosity, Playing Till It Hurts, and A Tune for Two. And all of those 3 we have not seen yet. So yeah, it looks like this is his first official appearance.
He was pretty prominent in this one, so I was like, he has to come back.
Yeah.
He's in the whole, B plot with Moki and Boober.
Yep.
See, I just love that when the race starts, the world's oldest Fraggle starts off with the names consistent and just starts yelling random, mashed together mix-ups of everybody's names.
Yeah. Gimblo, Mobley, what's his name?
So, Wembley wins. And Gobo has a rough time about it. Gobo learns a very important lesson, which is that it's easier to be a good sport when you're winning all the time.
Mm-hmm.
He even goes as far as to say, I'm no sore loser, I'm a winner, which is the kind of line you would put in, Ricky Bobby Talladega Nights.
He said sorely, like a loser who is sore.
Sore loseringly.
But yeah, so at one point he's like, how could I have let myself get bunched up with those other Fraggles? And I was like, okay, depending on what he means here, the phrase bunched up, that could mean 2 hugely different things. Does he mean physically bunched together on the racetrack like a crowd of roller derby skaters? In which case he's saying I got a disadvantage at this point because I got bunched up with all these other Fraggles and I couldn't get out of that cluster. Or does he mean grouped together as a loser with other Fraggles that he considers losers? Because the first one is I made a strategic mistake that resulted in a disadvantaged playing field. And the second is, I am a winner who got mixed up with the losers.
I took it to mean the second one, where he was like, how could I get grouped with these others? Because, I mean, I guess we didn't see every single moment of the race, and so maybe there was a moment where Gobo was just he couldn't get out of the mix with the other Fraggles racing. But him and Wembley, had the lead, every time we saw them, so...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. And I based off of his sore loser behavior, I was also he's mad that he's being compared to these other guys that also lost.
See, I thought he was just trying to invent a story for why he lost and was like, oh, it's not my fault for not running hard. I just got caught up behind other slower people who I'm faster than, which is why the slower people were ahead of me.
Mm.
Yeah, that's interesting. Him making excuses of oh, it's not my fault. This happened, even if maybe it didn't quite happen that way.
You see it a lot on the playground.
Yeah. And Red comes into, she starts out trying to defend Wembley, but really she's defending herself as a coach. And basically they challenge each other to a re-race. And Wembley's like, I don't think that's such a good idea. And Red's like, you keep out of this, Wembley.
Mm-hmm.
Poor Wembley.
Poor Wembley.
The pawn in their competitive nature.
Yep.
Well, and that's the thing, too, is, they're so caught up in this. Wembley is the only one with the emotional maturity to actually consider and worry about the emotional consequences of this.
Yeah.
It's genuinely not about winning to him. He's worried about Gobo and their friendship.
Yeah, I wrote about this a little bit in, I wrote the 40 Years Later article about this episode, and this is not the first time that we've seen Wembley be the main character of an episode without being the character who needs to learn a lesson.
Right.
That, like, in We Love You, Wembley, when Moki was, basically trampling over his thoughts and feelings.
Oh, where she was like, you're in love with this other Fraggle.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And all he needed to do was assert what he already knew to be true. And Moki had to learn, like, oh, right, I should not project onto other people. Similarly here, he's got the right idea from the get-go. Like, it's just important for me to do my best and have fun. And it's Gobo and Red who are the ones who need to learn to friggin' take a chill pill.
Mm-hmm.
There's also the fact that, like, as a whole, games and sports are very prevalent in Fraggle society. And so when you're contrasting that with the Doozer contest, where the whole idea of competition is like this forbidden thing, I think the Fraggles have, on the whole, like a healthier attitude towards competition. And then it's just Gobo and Red occasionally going too far.
Kind of jerks.
Yeah.
And speaking of Gobo being a jerk, there's this bit where Wembley's trying to talk to him and he's worried. And he's like, I don't want to lose your friend. And Gobo says, if you're a real friend, you'll give me a chance to get even.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said ew when that happened.
Well, it's like, no, in this moment, Gobo, clearly the race is actually more important to you than your friendship.
Yeah.
That's some screwy priorities, my guy.
Yep.
Yeah, this episode was hard for me because I just spent the entire time feeling bad for Wembley.
I felt the entire time being proud of him because he was doing his best to stand up for what he believed in.
That's fair. I just, seeing a character who clearly, like, yes, we could say that maybe a lot of this is his self-esteem. And in the end, he's like, I'm going to win, to jump ahead. I'm going to win for me.
Wow, spoilers.
Is a big moment for him. Sorry. Spoilers for like 20 minutes from now. But also, I think most of us have been in the positions where we're in the middle of two or more friends having to deal with something and you end up being a bit of a pawn or being kind of like, not the scapegoat, but like they're putting all their energy onto you and you're like, I don't know how I ended up here, but I would like to not be doing this anymore. And yeah, just like the way that Red and Gobo are treating him the entire episode. And obviously they like at the end realize and they apologize and they come around, but I was just like, this sucks for Wembley.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Poor little guy.
Yeah.
So we get to see the second race, and we get that B thing of Rumple.
Oh, yeah.
Boober tries to, like, flip the bet and be like, oh, no, we'll do double or nothing, but we'll switch. Because Rumple got, like, bopped by a Gorg trying to get radishes for Boober.
Mm-hmm.
So the first bet that they did, like, Rumple wanted to bet so bad that, didn't he say, I'll give you 5 radishes, but you only have to give me 1?
Yeah, it's 5 to 1.
And then he loses. And so then, because he comes back all bandaged up. This is an episode where multiple Fraggles, because Red is also bandaged up because of what she's gone through recently.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But then, Boober's like, we'll just double or nothing it, but this time, instead of you voting for Gobo, you have Wembley and I'll have Gobo.
Right.
Because he's just trying to help out Rumple, and like Moki's in the corner being like, Boober, are you gambling again? And Boober's like, I'm not trying to, I'm trying to help someone. It's a really kind of weird side plot for this one.
It's a very weird B plot. Yeah.
Yep. Also, I just want to call out, like, at the beginning of this race, there's a Fraggle with an acoustic soundboard.
Yeah.
They don't have a name. They don't get referenced, but I love them. And I love the props department for making an acoustic soundboard. It's so good.
Yeah. It's got all kinds of weird stuff on it, and kudos to this Fraggle for giving us the background music for a very silly song.
Mm-hmm.
This is the front and back patter song, parentheses, turn around now.
Which is great.
Just a bunch of gibberish, and I love that we get those on occasion.
Yeah. It really does feel like the Fraggles version of like a baseball game song.
Mm.
And I'm really here for that. I love that.
There was one line that included a real word, though. lovely as a bellybone. Bellybone is an actual word. Bellibone.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the bones that give your stomach structure. It's a belly bone.
Sure.
Why? What did you think it meant?
Well, the OED said it meant something like beautiful, but
I mean, that makes sense. Bonita and bella both mean beautiful, so belly bon.
Yeah.
That's like just pretty.
Exactly.
It's like a PIN number, an ATM machine. It's pretty.
What? PIN number? Oh, PIN number, ATM machine.
Yeah.
Got it.
So, Gobo wins. But Red gleans that Wembley had something to do with that and goes to confront him, and it turns out Wembley threw the race.
Mm-hmm.
Which, again, Fraggle Rock getting into, like, sports betting scandals.
And I love that when Red confronts Gobo about this, he's being all cocky, and Red's like, no, you only won the race because Wembley lost on purpose. And Gobo laughs and says, get out of here. Nobody would lose a race on purpose.
Oh my god, I love that part. Like, yeah, bro, turns out people's brains work differently than yours.
Yeah.
What a concept.
And then he gets all aggressive. Wembley's like, I just didn't want anything to hurt our friendship. And Gobo says, hurt our friendship? Wembley Fraggle, we're going to race one more race and you better run it fair or you can forget about our friendship. While he's like getting into Wembley's face and Wembley is like shrinking back and cowering. And
yeah, it's hardcore. It's not great.
Yeah.
The vibes, they are not chill.
Mm-hmm.
So they go to this third race and there's two little Doc and Sprocket.
Oh, right.
Because Doc is like, all right, the next step, I got everything ready for you to get to that dog show, but first you got to take a bath. And Sprocket does not want to take a bath.
No.
Which, like, Julia, aren't there ways to make baths fun for dogs?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Some dogs love baths and some hate them. And I've only given one dog a bath in the whole 8 years I've been working with dogs because he rolled in something that smelled dead. And so I had absolutely no choice. I'm sure that there are some dogs out there where like treats or some toys or things like that can help. I know that there are dogs where there's nothing. They hate bath time and there's like no real enticement. Like you have to you and somebody else making sure they don't jump out of the bathtub. You know. But yeah, if your dog is super treat motivated or there's a ball that they really love, like, you know, there are ways to coax them and make them better.
I've seen this thing where like you stick it on the wall and then you smear peanut butter on it so the dog is like,
oh sure, like a lick mat, yeah, things like that.
Yeah.
Or a Kong, you know, give them something to distract them.
Right.
Same with like cutting dogs' nails or, you know, if you have to give a dog a shot, you know.
Peanut butter on the wall is just like a great way to start most plans. Like, you don't need tape for posters.
Just peanut butter on the walls.
Peanut butter on the walls. So make the poster on there. It'll stay up.
I will say that this might contradict something that we learned earlier, because in the very beginning, episode 103, Sprocket loves taking baths and he's excited to take his bath and then he can't because there's no water. And now he doesn't want to take a bath. So I was like, okay, maybe for Sprocket it's dependent on circumstances. Honestly, same.
Yeah. Some days are bad days, some days aren't.
Yep.
But Doc says, all right, if you don't get in the bath by the time I'm done counting to 3, I'm going to call Schimmelfinny and tell him it's off. And Sprocket hides and Doc goes 1, 2, 2.5, 2 3/4, and then it fades out. And my immediate thought was, oh my god, please let him be doing some absolute like hair splitting tiny fraction ridiculousness. And that's exactly what happens. Spoilers, we cut back to him going 2 98 100ths, 2 99 100ths, 3, and I was just like, yes, autism. But Boober does the, all right, well, this happens, you win. If this happens, I lose thing to try to make sure that Rumple doesn't have to go back for more radishes because Rumple comes back with even more bandages. But also, when Boober's talking to Moki, he says, we'll do this, and even if that doesn't work, then Rumple still wins, which is just close enough to Rumplestiltskin
that
I had to stop and wonder if that was on purpose.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Especially if this is his first episode that he appears in. It's his entire purpose to be a pun on Rumpelstiltskin.
Wow.
Whoa.
I wouldn't put it past him.
And Rumpelstiltskin's whole story is about, like, making bets.
Yeah, isn't it wagering?
Yeah.
Yeah. Making deals.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's a one I don't think about all that often, but
The thematic resonance is there.
All right. Well, Robert Sandler, if you're out there and listening, please let us know. Was this an intentional pun or just a delightful coincidence?
Mm-hmm.
Is this where Wembley is now faking being sick so he doesn't have to do the third race?
Yes.
He's got the stomach ache, but also the headache, and he's like, you know me, I'm a Wimbler, and so I have both because I couldn't decide which one I have, which is great. It's like when you're faking being sick to stay home from school when you're a kid.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Gobo and Red are trying to call him out on it, like, oh, you're faking, you have to race again. And Wembley snaps.
Mm-hmm.
Loses his mind in the best of ways.
Honestly, it took him this long. He says, will you cut this out? You're both making me sick. You think I'm lucky? You think I lost on purpose? You want to know what I think? I don't know what I think. Yes. Yes, man. It's okay to not know what you think, but still be yelling anyway. Once in a while.
Very relatable.
Yeah. But yeah, he comes back to, what he knew all along. He says, I know I don't like being in the middle. I'm going to race all right, but this time I'm going to do it for me. Like, yeah, you got it, man.
That ruled.
And this is the point where Red and Gobo kind of have the realization of like, oh, maybe we haven't been treating Wembley the best, have we?
Yeah.
This is the thing that pops Gobo out of his competitive mindset, too.
Mm-hmm.
And you see this moment a lot in classrooms and on playgrounds, where somebody will win, they'll win the game, and then they'll wind up hurting their friends' feelings, and that's when they have to stop and be like, oh, I have been being a jerk. Oops.
Right. It wasn't about the winning, it was about being a not a jerk? I don't know. Good winner?
Bad friend.
It's about saying keeping a friend is more important than winning.
Yes.
Also, we get to see puppets running.
Yeah.
Yeah, this race is awesome. We see them swinging on vines also.
Mm-hmm. It's very good.
Yeah. Little marionette puppets like just running down the caves.
Yeah, there's this shot where the little miniatures that we've seen before are running, and we've seen the miniatures running before, but usually in a straight line. And now we see them zigzagging and two of them running together. And so in my article, when I was like, how did they do that? Friend of the show, Tony, one of the Muppet Wiki admins, said, concerning the mini Fraggle racing, motorized legs on marionettes. They use the same effect on the Muppets Take Manhattan when the rats run out of sardies.
Oh, yeah.
So, thank you to Tony. That made total sense as soon as I heard it, and I was like, oh, right. But it was something that I couldn't find information on Muppet Wiki, so I'm glad to know that someone has that knowledge.
Indeed. And there's a really fun moment where Gobo realizes he needs to apologize to Wembley, and Wembley doesn't want to listen to it, so Gobo has to be running to catch up to try to tell Wembley that he's sorry, and he can't. Wembley wins.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the world's oldest Fraggle is saying, and then the one is ahead of the other, and then the other one is ahead of that one. Which is just very funny. Sure, it is a race, folks.
And then, yeah, Wembley, Gobo hasn't gotten a chance to apologize yet, and he's, in the winner's circle and being congratulated, and he's like, I feel fantastic, I just wish somebody didn't have to lose, and now I may lose something more important than this race, my best friend. I wish I could just cover my eyes and imagine us best friends again. And that's when Gobo comes up and apologizes and reassures him that, yes,
and he gets an actual apology, doesn't he?
Yeah, he actually says, I'm sorry I was such a sore loser. Like, not just I'm sorry, but here's what I am sorry for.
Mm-hmm.
And then also restating the important stuff of, like, I'm glad you won, you're the best, we are best friends. Like, yes, okay, good. I like this apology.
Yeah. Oh, and then we cut back to Doc, and Doc is doing his wonderful infinitesimally small fractions thing, and he finally gets to 3 and calls Schimmelfinny and says that, he doesn't need to run Sprocket in some dog show. Sprocket's fine the way he is. And weirdly enough, this is what causes Sprocket to go jump in the bath.
Mm-hmm.
He really appreciates his friend. Like, his friend has stood up for him, and then his friend has realized, like, oh, we don't need to do this. It's a nice, end to the episode. And also, Sprocket has a little bath cap on.
It's so cute.
It's very cute. And then Doc is like, here, come out of here before you catch cold. And he dries them off, and it's just really sweet.
He's shivering because the water's gotten so cold.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Yeah, I feel like we've gotten a good handful of recent episodes with Doc and Sprocket where we have been complaining less about Doc being, at the least, a bad dog owner.
Mm-hmm.
We've really kind of pivoted more to seeing them in, the friend-roommate relationship. Where it feels less bad. It's less of Doc being like, oh, I forgot to feed you all day. And more of like, oh, I'm defending you so hard that I signed you up for this dog competition that maybe you actually don't want to do. But I believe in you so much.
It's really sweet.
That's great.
Beth, you want to tell us about the international versions?
I would love to, except that there are no notes about them on Muppet Wiki.
Oh no!
It's just another, there's little notes that, the music and slow motion effects in the final race are an homage to Chariots of Fire, and that this is another episode where the song lyrics were written by Tim Wynne-Jones instead of Dennis Lee. And that's about all there is of note.
Shall we talk about how to make the world a little fragglier?
You can enjoy sports without betting. I say this particularly as someone who does not partake in sports, but also we are recording on the day of the Super Bowl.
Oh, right.
I'm certain that's a thing that's happening. Or you could do a friendly bet where you're like, oh, if I win, you come and hang out at my place. And if you win, I come out and hang out at your place,
Yeah.
Winner cooks dinner.
Yeah, little things like that. That's totally fine. But, maybe don't bet so much that you will then put yourself in danger.
Don't bet so much that you show up covered in casts and bandages.
Mm-hmm. Don't be like Rumple in this one.
No.
I hope that we get to see Rumple in some other situations in the future.
I hope we get to meet somebody in his family who does circus stuff.
Mm-hmm.
To explain the aviator goggles?
No. I hope we get to meet Rumplestiltskin.
Oh my god.
Wow.
How long have you been sitting on that one?
Oh, that's out of thin air, baby.
Ah,
incredible.
Jealous.
I have a particular set of skills that make me a nightmare for people like neurotypicals. Stop and think about whether winning is more important than friendship or not.
Yeah. I'm going to go back to something I said in my article, that comparing yourself to your friend is often really unfair to the both of you. When I heard someone quote that, a flower doesn't bother comparing itself to the flower next to it, it just blooms.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, I like that, but also can we take that one step further? Because you and your friend might not be two flowers of the same species. You might be completely different species that need completely different things. Like a jasmine vine and a dandelion grow in opposite ways, and yet they're both wonderful.
Yeah, a flower doesn't compare itself to the flower next to it. The flower just invites the flower next to it to join a union so they can go on strike.
Amen. All right, that is it for this one. Thanks again for listening. You know where to find us by now.
They don't know where to find me. I'm hiding.
All right, that is it for this one. Reminder to check out toughpigs.com. Give us a good review on your podcatcher of choice, and we will see you next time.
Don't forget to dance your cares away.
Down at Fraggle Talk.
Bram.
Fraggle Talk Classic is brought to you by toughpigs.com. Fraggle Talk art by Dave Hulteen Jr. The Fraggle Rock mark and logo, characters, and elements are trademarks of the Jim Henson Company. All rights reserved. The Fraggle Rock theme song, written by Philip Balsam and Dennis Lee, is used with permission. Special thanks to the Jim Henson Company and the entire Fraggle Rock family. For more from Tough Pigs, please find us at Tough Pigs on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, TeePublic, and Patreon. Fraggle Talk Classic is produced and edited by me, Beth Cook. Thank you to Joe Hennis, the Tough Pigs Muppet Fan Podcast executive producer. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time down at Fraggle Talk. Give us a good review on your podcatcher of choice, and we will see you next time.
Don't forget to your cares away.
God!
Down at Fraggle Talk. Do we need to redo that, Beth? You want us to do one that doesn't reference?
I'll tell you what, well, let's do a clean one just in case we can't get that one through the censors. Don't forget to dance your cares away.
Down at Fraggle Talk.
Wow.
Oh dear.